What if two men tried to buy every ounce of silver on Earth? It was worth $10 billion. Nelson and Herbert Hunt were sons of a famous oil baron. They hatched this ambitious scheme. It was during runaway inflation. It made them distrust all paper assets. Their silver was worth $10 billion on paper at the peak. This followed months of aggressive buying in bars and futures. But that massive fortune would vanish almost overnight. Everything came crashing down. Then it all collapsed in dramatic fashion on a single day. It was known as Silver Thursday. The question is how two of the richest men in America built this mountain of silver. Why did the mountain fall on them so suddenly? It happened after the exchanges intervened. 8 years later, a federal civil jury found they had conspired to corner the silver market. They were ordered to pay damages of around $134 million after the long legal battle in the Minpeco case. Go back to the 1970s. Inflation was tearing through the economy. Prices for everyday goods were skyrocketing. Paper money felt like it was dying. The Hunt brothers decided they needed a different kind of protection. It was for their family fortune from oil. Their father, H.L. Hunt, had built an oil empire that made the family one of the wealthiest in the country. The brothers inherited that Texas-sized ambition and a deep skepticism toward traditional financial systems and paper currency during those turbulent times. Bunker and Herbert Hunt believed real metal would survive when paper did not. So they started buying silver in massive quantities. It was as a hedge against the inflation that was ravaging the value of the dollar in the 1970s. Not a little silver. They bought physical bars by the ton. Futures contracts demanded delivery. The strategy took control of supply. It was not ordinary speculation. By the end of '79, they and their partners controlled roughly 195 million ounces of silver. This represented a huge slice of all the silver readily available on Earth at the time. It let them influence global prices. Early '79 silver traded under $10 an ounce. It seemed like a bargain to the Hunts, given the inflation pressures. They saw an opportunity to accumulate at low prices before the market woke up to the coming economic troubles ahead. By December 31st, it hit $34.45 per ounce. This followed months of steady increases. They came from the brothers' relentless purchases of bars and futures. But with their partners and all the physical metal they held, the question remained. Would regulators allow them to keep accumulating even more? Then in January 1980, silver topped $50 an ounce. Their holdings were suddenly worth around $10 billion on paper at that incredible peak, after all the accumulated ounces. This seemed like total victory for the Hunts after years of planning. Watch this chart carefully as the story unfolds. The price was climbing fast in a classic bubble pattern. It was driven by their cornering efforts with both physical and futures buying. It ran from under $10 in early '79 all the way to the peak above $50. This was no ordinary investment. They tried to corner the market. By owning so much, everyone needed to buy from them at their price, an attempt to be the market itself. Here's how cornering actually worked in practice for the Hunt brothers and their partners. They bought both physical silver in large quantities and futures on margin, using borrowed money to amplify their position in the market. Higher prices gave them more collateral for additional loans from their brokers. More collateral let them borrow even more money to buy yet more silver. This in turn pushed prices higher, creating a self-reinforcing loop that seemed unbreakable at the time. It was a self-reinforcing machine that fed on its own success for many months on end. Until the exchanges saw what was happening and decided to intervene to protect the market from being controlled by just two men from Texas. January 7th, 1980. COMEX introduced Silver Rule 7. It restricted margin buying. It added position limits. This responded to Hunt's dominance. January 21st brought stricter measures. Trading limited to liquidation only. The corner could no longer be fed. Price stalled and turned. The brothers lost their ability to prop it up. The spiral that lifted them now ran violently in reverse. Lower prices triggered margin calls for cash they no longer had. This forced them to sell into a falling market. What happens when the very leverage that built your fortune becomes the weapon that destroys it? What happens when the referees flip the board mid-game? They rewrite the rules. The Hunts were about to find out. It was painful. Their empire faced its greatest test. From the commodity exchanges, March 27, 1980, became known forever as Silver Thursday in financial history. The price of silver experienced a historic collapse on that fateful day, as margin calls overwhelmed the brothers and their partners. The price crashed 50% in a single day, from $21.62 all the way down to $10.80 per ounce. This unimaginable drop wiped out billions in value in just a few hours of frantic trading on the exchange floors. Their $7 billion in paper silver became $1.7 billion in debt almost overnight as the margin calls poured in from all directions. The brothers who had been billionaires faced ruin because of the very paper instruments they had used to build their silver mountain. The collapse was so large, it threatened the banks and brokers. An emergency loan was arranged. It contained the damage. It prevented wider panic. The richest family in America was destroyed by the paper leverage they used to flee paper money. Their distrust backfired with disastrous results.
We believed in real metal. The paper was supposed to be the safe bridge.
Bunker Hunt filed for bankruptcy. After debts and tax issues caught up, he had been among the richest. He lost it all. After Silver Thursday and the civil judgment, the free market they tried to conquer was saved. Referees changed the rules mid-game. To stop the corner, damage could have spread to the entire banking system. That was the central irony of the saga. The metal they trusted couldn't save them from the paper they used to buy it. Using margin and futures, two brothers tried to own an entire metal supply. For a few weeks in January 1980, they nearly did. They controlled most available silver with their 195 million ounces before the rules changed against them. That was Season 1 of Paper Fortunes. We explored how fortunes were built, stolen, and destroyed through these incredible true stories from history. Subscribe for more in Season 2, where even bigger mysteries await discovery in the world of money. You're one of the richest men alive. You see paper money failing. Do you buy every ounce of real metal you can, or trust the system that printed it? Paper failing? Buy all the silver or trust the system? Comments are open. Make your case. Season 2 brings more fortunes made, lost, and faked.